you're so cute. Oh, she's so pretty. Hi you guys, it's Quel. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me today. You are here with me and Ava Noel today. So today we are just going to talk about if it's a good idea for you to begin as a CNA before you become a nurse. So if you were ever curious about that, why don't you go ahead and stick around and we'll hop into the video, okay? Hi you guys, again my name is Quel. This is the very first time that I'm actually filming on my new phone, my iPhone 11. The video quality on this thing is amazing. I'm actually working with my front facing camera, which usually that is like the worst video quality ever, but actually this looks really good. And so I'm not sure about the sound. I'm pretty sure the sound's going to be great too, so hopefully it is, because this is just what we're rolling with today. My phone was fully charged and my camera's not, plus I have a lot more storage on this phone, so we can get this going. So again, today we're just going to talk about if it's a good idea to start off as a CNA before becoming a nurse. You guys, I'm so close to 5,000 subscribers. Well, I'm actually 1,000 short at the time of recording this video, so I would love it if you join the family. Go ahead and hit subscribe. I upload beauty, lifestyle, and most importantly, nursing videos. And I know how much you guys like my nursing videos. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe? I upload videos frequently and I would love if you join the family. So go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and let's hop to it. So the first thing I want to mention is that in Ohio, we actually call our CNAs STNAs. In our state, that stands for State Tested Nursing Assistants. But basically they do the same exact jobs, just in Ohio, for whatever reason, we call them STNAs. In your state, go ahead and shout out your state and tell me what they call nurses aid. Are they STNAs? Are they CNAs? Or are they called something different? So CNAs and STNAs are such an important component within the nursing scope. Some of the things that they may be required to do is to bathe the patient, to get the patient up, get them dressed, to reposition patients, to feed patients, to bring patients meals, take vital signs. So that's a huge responsibility and a huge job. And honestly, it will be so difficult for LPNs and RNs to do everything else that needs to be done without the help of STNAs or CNAs. So I give them huge props because they do so much and they are such a huge help. So back to the question. So should you become a CNA or STNA? So the first thing I want to mention is that some programs may require that you are actually already a STNA or a CNA before entering their program. For instance, at my local community college, I was looking to get an LPN, but I saw one of the requirements was that you have to be a STNA. So that would have been 3 more months on top of the program, plus an additional cost. My LPN route that I chose actually already incorporated the STNA CNA courses or the program within their actual program. So the first semester, our fundamentals of nursing class was also a CNA STNA class. So if we wanted to become an STNA or CNA, we actually could have sat to get our license to become one after our fundamentals of nursing first trimester was finished. They would have took that at the Ohio Board of Nursing, which is great. So again, some courses or some programs may require that you have to become one before you can actually enter their nursing program. However, like in my program, they actually incorporate that within their actual curriculum. Now, I'm not really sure, of course, because I've never went for my BSN or my associates yet in nursing. So those of you that actually are RNs or have your BSN, tell me what you guys have experienced in your nursing journey actually when you went to school. Did they require that you first become a CNA, STNA, or did you actually, or was that incorporated, or that wasn't something that you actually had to do? So tell me what your experience is. Okay, so let's say that your course does not require that you become a STNA, CNA before becoming a nurse. Is it a good idea to actually get the license? In my opinion, it definitely helps. Any type of healthcare experience before becoming a nurse will definitely benefit you in the long run. Some of the things that we had to do was medical terminology. We had to do invasive things with the patient. And if you have that pre-knowledge of actually going into a nursing facility, going into a hospital, you're that much more comfortable to interact with patients. That was the big thing with me. I will tell you, in my experience, I actually had my CNA, STNA, well, in Ohio, I had my STNA license when I was 19 years old, so roughly 11 years ago. I have a whole video on my whole journey becoming a nurse, and I guess I'll link it below if you guys want to see. But the gist of it is, when I was 19 years old, I worked for a nursing facility. I was actually in the activities department, and our facility required that we become STNAs so that we can then feed patients, because sometimes we would take them out to restaurants and everything. It was the best job, let me just say, the best job ever. So we would take the patients out to different restaurants. We would take them to Walmart so that they can go shopping. We would take them to the theater. We would take them to shows. So we needed to have some sort of license behind us just in case these patients needed help. So working at this long-term care facility, most of the patients were in wheelchairs. So you needed to know how to transfer these patients. That was major. You needed to know how to feed, or you had to have your license in order to feed the patients. That was very important, especially in that particular department, in the activities department. So I actually had my STNA license when I was 19 years old. Now, I didn't do the whole scope that STNAs were required to do because I was doing a different job. And that is actually what inspired me to then become a nurse, because I loved helping others. So had I not done that, I would have never known that this is something that I wanted to do long-term and make a career out of nursing. And another point, you just want to become comfortable with touching people. Just because you're okay with touching people and being invasive, it's a different experience when you actually have to do it. Just because you're okay with it, you actually performing it may be a little, and it's kind of odd at first when you're actually in people's personal space. So having that as a nurse is so major. So after I stopped working at the nursing facility, and the only reason why I stopped is it was during the recession. So the activities department was like, well, we don't need all of these different activities workers. So they severely cut my hours. So after I stopped, I kind of got into the clerical and the finance world. So all of those years later, I really stopped being comfortable being in people's personal spaces. So when we did clinicals, meaning we went into different facilities and executed the things that we learned in nursing school, our skills, we executed that at the nursing facilities. I was really apprehensive at first because I was not used to touching people. I was not used to touching strangers. I was not used to doing the blood pressures or doing the bed baths. So it was really something that I had to get adjusted to again. Also, in most cases, if you're already working as a STNA/CNA, you could potentially just transition. It'll be the easiest transition for when you actually become a nurse and you have a job waiting for you. So that's also a point. In most facilities, if you're already working as a STNA, a lot of the times they have a tuition reimbursement program. Now you do have to commit in most cases 1 year, 2 years, it just depends on the facility. But that's something that if you don't want to take out student loans, I highly recommend. And if you don't mind working for whatever facility or hospital that you're working for, I suggest doing as well. So I definitely think it gets you into the mindset of what a nurse does. And honestly, the people that I was working with at the time, they were not much older than me. They were in their early 20s and I was 19 at the time. And I just saw how young they were and how motivated, and they were working as LPNs at such an early age. And I was like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too. So it definitely inspired me to continue on with my pursuits in becoming a nurse. And when you're in that atmosphere, you just get more and more motivated to continue on. So yeah, I definitely suggest that you should have some experience, but it's not required. Again, after I stopped working for the facility, and it was years later, and I got into finance and clerical work, and then I decided to come back and pursue nursing seriously, it was a real shock to my system, and I honestly wish that I remember the things that I learned, because we got graded on bed baths. I'm talking about our skills. We got graded on transporting patients or transferring patients from the bed to the wheelchair. So all the things that I had already had experience with, they taught us again, and then we were graded on. So I wish I had that knowledge again, because it had been so many years. I honestly forgot. So It's something that I suggest, in my opinion, that you probably should have some type of experience working in CNA, STNA. It's not something that's always required that you do, but just having the experience, any experience in healthcare will be such a benefit to you when you then want to pursue your nursing career. So I hope that I answered the questions. I may have not, so if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I will see you guys really soon. Take care. Bye. Say bye, Ava. Bye. She's reading a book. Bye, you guys.